it's got here. Now, this time I've been wanting to talk about this for quite a while. Series that disappointed me and maybe you guys. Be it a popular one, a more niche series, something that you had a greater expectation, something that started good, got bad later towards the end, or some aspects of it that disappointed me, and some that I'm gonna rant about. Like, I have some of them that annoy me a lot. There's gonna be some hot takes here. Hey, maybe you guys agree, maybe you disagree. I'm really curious which series is the one that pops into your head when you think disappointing. I don't mean like bad series, like you start a series, it's trash from beginning to start and so on. A series that you got into and for whatever reason you got disappointed into it. And this is what I want to do with this video. There's gonna be a few of them. Some of them I'm gonna have short thoughts, some of them I'm gonna go in. And also, like Shield Hero already talked about it in my Isekai video, make sure to check that one out. I'm not gonna repeat myself with it. Season 2 and Season 3 are the disappointment part. Demon Slayer Season 3 also was disappointing, at least for me. Swordsmith Village there. I have some series that I would like remakes for them. I'm not gonna mention them here. I have a remakes video like Tokyo Ghoul, Toriko, Berserk, of course, the obvious ones, but yeah, let's see which series disappointed me the most and why. This is your spoiler warning. There are going to be some spoilers here. Obviously, we're talking why some series have been wasting their potential and being disappointing in some of their aspects. Again, spoiler warning. There are going to be timestamps in descriptions for all of the series if you want to jump to anything. The first one being Ninja Kamui, very recent one. I even had it in my best of last season anime, but it went downhill so badly, it's insane. Great potential at the start, of course, for an action fighting series. The fights were so good, the hand-to-hand fight there from the director of Jujutsu Kaisen that did the fighting. Great choreography, I was hooked into it, it looked great. Simpler story, you don't need more than that, but then the great CGI mecha attack happened. For whatever dumb reason, let's put CGI mechs into it and remove what made it fun. Hand-to-hand combat, no, let's have CGI mechs right now. And it looks like shit, the fighting sucks, the story even got worse, the character got dumber and dumber. Like, the first few episodes are, this is so good, looks great. Ninja Kamui seems like to be a sleeper of the season. Even I got fooled by it. I finished it just out of rage. I wanted to see how bad it got, and it sucks ass. It's honestly one of the worst series in general that I've watched. It's in competition for my worst anime of 2024. I don't know if you guys watched it, but just watch the first few episodes, then pretend there's nothing more with it. Great fights there. But yeah, this is how you start great, then you fuck it up. Ninja Kamui, no. Another similar one with a great start, Fena the Pirate Princess. I really like that sort of atmosphere that the series had at the start. This princess gets betrayed and she has to become a pirate. Sounds interesting, right? Great female character, looks pretty good. I like the character designs there. But the more I watch it, the dumber it became and the more convoluted. And somehow from princesses and pirates, we go to aliens and kind of Evangelion ends that we got there. I'm like, aliens? Why? Why couldn't you just make a simple pirate slash princess story? The start was so good, but then kind of similar with Ninja Kamui. You add this weird concept, like you think it needs to be this overly complicated, convoluted thing, then you end up with shit, which is Fena the Pirate Princess wasted potential. And speaking of wasted potential, this is my biggest problem, kind of like the idea for why I wanted to make this video. Thanks to Ninja Kamui gets the credit, and Fena the Pirate Princess here, such wasted potential. And she's so cute the beginning, and her dynamic with the other characters. There you have this ragtag group of I'm not gonna go into heavy spoilers, so to say, with this one, but yeah, it sucks. unfortunately it sucks. Had a great premise, but it went to Narnia. I don't even know what to say with that ending. Holy shit. This next one annoyed me because it's from the creator of Magi, and if you haven't watched Magi, do yourself a favor and go watch it. Only has 2 seasons, where it's season 3, and also the adventures of Sinbad. Orient, the next series from the same creator. Now, there's some interesting things into it, like the world there. There's some very closely used character designs with Magi, which happens, of course, even from Fairy Tail, and we're gonna talk about Fairy Tail. Hiromashima uses his character designs, but no, it looks very, very bad. Animation is bad there. The art style is very simplistic. I think they did it the worst way it possibly could have been done there. The characters get really dumb, really fast. But what annoyed me, it got 25 episodes. Yes, I finished them. I always finish series, even if they're bad, just to see how bad they get also. But I wanted, instead of using the budget for this series, tone it down to 12-13 episodes and give us season 3 of Magi. Why are we getting this when Magi the manga is already ended? A lot of people wanted, it's so fun. Some of the characters there, Sinbad was Gojo before Gojo was cool. Like, Sinbad is better than Gojo. Yes, I said it here, and we're gonna talk about Jujutsu Kaisen also, don't worry. But yeah, don't watch Orient, just watch Magi. It's the better in every aspect compared to Orient. This series annoyed me, like, very, very hard for me to get annoyed. But Bucchigiri or Bichigiri, because it's literally about a beach of a main character, annoyed me so much. Great premise. You have this Aladdin 1001 Nights vibe, Arabian here with it. The designs, the character, genes in lamps, and delinquents. Kind of combining a bit Magi and Tokyo Revengers in a way. But the side characters, supporting characters are great, at least up to one point. Then you have probably the worst main character I have ever seen in anime. He annoys me so much. Selfish would be an understatement. This guy would let you die just because he doesn't care. And his big motivation in life is to lose his virginity. And this is also kind of sad because this is from the creator of Skate, which Skate is a really fun anime. But apparently behind the scenes the production had issues. They didn't really want to do this anime project. Mappa got into it, and whatever happened behind the scenes, I don't know. It's not my job to deal with that. The end product sucks ass. Great potential, wasted potential. But then somehow, even with these shitty characters, shitty main character, all of the other characters get dumber and dumber the more you watch. Like at the start, like halfway through, the side characters are great. After that, even the best friend of the main character gets so dumb, it's insane. And somehow they gave him a bitch stamp as his power mark on a tramp stamp on the back. I'm like, why? What's happening with this? And the animation is actually really good, the sound design, the character design, but I would prefer Takemichi from Tokyo Revengers over this main character here, Bucchigiri. And speaking of Tokyo Revengers, hi there, what you doing? Now, Tokyo Revengers was never the big best series ever. Got me hooked, delinquents fighting, this time travel aspect with really fine side characters. Again, they steal the show with Mikey there, with Draken. All of the side characters take away from the main character. But there's room to grow from him. Not everybody needed to be the fighting guy. He was never supposed to somehow get stronger and beat up the others. Kind of wanted him to be the brains of the operation in a way, but he's such a bitch, he's not even funny. At least he's better than Bucchigiri, the Arajin from Bucchigiri. But here in Tokyo Revenger, he doesn't learn. He's an adult, he goes back, he still retains his mind, but he still acts as a kid even when he's back in time. He doesn't really plan out things, he keeps doing the same mistakes. Sure, he has some moments, he can definitely take damage, he has a have no enemies bootleg moment at some point, But the problem with this is also season 2 is pretty okay. Season 2 gets worse, then after that we have season 3 or whatever it was, the part 3, part whatever, insert your Attack on Titan meme. The villains, the conflict get really, really bad here. The main guy with the latest gang that attacked them sucked ass so much, his motivation was dumb. What he did to one character that he killed there, like, it somehow gets dumber and dumber the more you watch. And yes, I looked ahead also with the manga, but even right here, you can call it as an ending here, what they got with this one, with Kisaki, what happened to him. Like, that shit came out of nowhere. Like, no satisfaction, no anything, just feels empty with how it ended, which definition of wasted potential with Tokyo Revengers. And we have a Crunchyroll original, a manhwa adaptation, The God of High School, which is one of the most popular manhwas ever. Now we have Solo Leveling, which is doing great. Season 1 has been really fun there, but The God of High School was before Solo Leveling, and it started out so good. The fights are, even to this day, the beginning fights at least, are some of the best fights in anime. The choreography, the animation there, especially the kicks, the feedback when characters fight each other, the sound design is really good there. Liking the world, the universe. I read up ahead also, but there somehow it keeps happening. Starts out great, then it goes to shit, and we don't talk about the wedding episode. That was out of nowhere. That episode is bullshit. But after like 6 episodes or so, it goes like your typical JRPG. Go save a cat, then go kill God. But that takes a while to get up to that point. God of High School kind of jumped like 5,000 chapters, and then got to the end, everybody was fighting with gods, summoning everywhere, everything got like powers. It started out with glimpses of that, talking about it, but they skipped so many things in between, and they rushed so many things, like it became an amalgamation of shit, honestly. How to ruin something great because you just wanted to do it as fast as possible. Just keep the consistency you started, make a season 2, season 3 if you want to get to those parts. Don't just toss everything together and hope for the best. No, God of High School needs a remake, honestly. Let's talk about To Your Eternity. Now, this series is probably one of the most interesting first episodes in general in anime. Starts out so great. You have this godlike figure creating a sentient rock and sends it out in the world to learn, evolve, become something greater. But this rock, we quickly find out, thanks to episode 1, which is very emotional, that hits you in the feels, is immortal, and the people it meets along the way affected greatly. And slowly the rock becomes a person with Fushi, our main character. But all of the people that he met along the way are part of him right now, and that's kind of the key core concept of this series. And very important lessons, very emotional at some things, is gonna hit you in the gut. Season 1 is pretty good there. Then we get to season 2, which feels like a downgrade. It doesn't have those emotional beats. The characters act dumber, the villains are weird to say the least. But what disappointed me the most were the direction where is what said. The last scene, the cliffhanger for the next season is, oh, let's go to the modern age, instead of keeping that bit down to earth more to it. Instead, somehow now we're skipping all of the ages, which I guess it makes sense in a way, since the main character is immortal, but I feel like it leaves off way too much on the table, and it doesn't hit as hard as season 1. Maybe I'm completely wrong and somehow season 3 is gonna blow my mind, but since I was disappointed in season 2 overall, and I don't like where season 3 is headed, I'm really curious, the manga readers, what do you guys think of To Your Eternity? Does it get better or worse after the things covered in season 2? This next series, it's so fun. I still have this nostalgia when I first watched it. how hooked I was into it. Seven Deadly Sins, the cast of characters, the dynamics there, Meliodas, Ban, Escanor, all of the other scenes, Gother, Diane, and whoever else I'm forgetting right now. Really, really fun and hooked me from the start, especially that spear scene when Gil Thunder and Meliodas throw that spear back and forth. I'm like, oh, I love stuff like this. It looked great, interesting premise, magic, demons, angels, they're fighting. Ban is my favorite character in the entire franchise, by the way. But then it got worse and worse, mainly animation. Like, this is probably the most memed series animation wise. It could have been one of the best shonens in general if it kept the quality up there, but then you have some of the most exciting, hyped up fights in the entire manga and anime in general. The Estarossa versus Meliodas. The characters feel like I draw them, and I draw like shit. I have no talent for that, but they look so distorted. The animation is basically PowerPoint at this point here, and it just goes downhill more and more and more and more. I'm like, what happened to this franchise? It could have been one of the great ones, but yeah, here we are. And then I recently watched the sequel to it, the Four Nights of the Apocalypse. Yes, I even watched the CGI movies, and it doesn't have that same feeling to it. It's with the kids, the next generation, so to say. At least they did it better than another series which we're gonna talk here, but so far it feels kind of boring with the Four Nights of the Apocalypse. There's some moments that are still fun. I like the universe, that's why I keep watching it. I'm probably gonna watch the next season. Also, I'm a trash consumer, as you guys know me, but what a waste of a franchise, honestly. Seven Deadly Sins. This next series, still really fun, one of the most popular series ever, especially if you like Battle Shonen, My Hero Academia. Now, season 5 is the worst overall season in the entire anime. Mainly because they decided to extend the training arc, the battle between the classes, for whatever reason. I don't know why, that just put me to sleep, honestly. Like, I like training arcs, but when they suck also, but then you make them longer at whatever reason. Then they decided to swap the order of the arcs around, kind of messing some things. The Villain Academy arc and the Endeavor arc, they swapped their order. Then they censored some things with Villain Academia arc there. Like, the last few episodes got definitely better, but overall, this season, even probably the hardest fans of My Hero Academia could tell you this, and if they can't, they're in complete denial, honestly. I like My Hero Academia, I still am watching it, of course, even with this new season, but then we get in another thing that disappointed me, wasted potential here. And speaking with this season, the first two episodes, spoilers with them, spoiler, My Hero Academia, the new character, Star and Stripe, the #1 hero in America here, kind of like female All Might, but she's great. I loved her ever since they introduced her here. Great personality, great backstory, love her design. She could kill me and I would be fine with it. She's such a fun character, and I like what she did, how she did it, how far she was willing to go here, but she could have offered so much more if she wasn't used as a plot device, like a gimmick. Just suddenly show up, do the thing, then die. It feels like they took a gadget out, they used it, ran out of battery, they tossed it aside here. And I get what she accomplished in the series. She nerfed a bit Shigaraki, but and showed how powerful he is, but everybody knew how powerful he is already, or him and All for One together. Even the characters in the story knew, we knew as viewers. Then we kind of already understood because All for One said he had friends everywhere around the globe, and he started causing issues in all of the countries, so nobody else could help Japan. But then they used the Star and Stripe for the same reason. So I even do both things if you're gonna waste such a great character. I just wanted more from her. Missing potential with interactions with other characters. She didn't need to die, maybe sacrifice her power or whatever. I just feel could have been handled better. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Let me know as a My Hero Academia fan. What do you think about Season 5 and Star and Stripe in the comments below. Now, this next series was never gonna be the best story ever told. Food Wars or Shokugeki no Soma. Cooking, ecchi show. Fun, hot girls, very hot girls to say the least, and they made cooking fun. There's a story there, tournament arcs, everything pretty fun. I enjoyed that sort of thing there. Build up some starting plot points at the start with Soma and Eri, now the two main characters, so to say, how the relationship was going to evolve. Soma and his father, this rivalry they had, and him trying to defeat his father at some point, training, growing stronger. Pretty consistent overall. You go in knowing what you're going to expect, but somehow they fucked even something simple as this, thanks to Season 5. Season 5 sucks so much. Feels like that dark cooking underground came out of nowhere, took away all of the plot points that were built up to then. You don't even get the satisfaction over everything that I mentioned previously. It's just like, why do this? Just have a few extra 3 episodes and tie up the loose ends, show their character where they end up, what they're gonna do. Why even introduce this bullshit with underground cooking? It just pretty much takes away everything from what you have been building up so far with Soma. It's honestly one of the worst overall sequels to an anime that I have ever seen in general. I love Death Note. I've rewatched it multiple times. It's one of the series that is also really good in dub, for example. And I think it got a lot of people into anime. It was all over the place, one of the most popular series ever. Still really fun to this day. It has aged pretty well, but I honestly hate the second half. Like, I'm gonna go into spoilers here, moving on forward with a lot of the series. After L dies, it just sucks ass. Like, the next big brain character that we have, N, and his second half, Mellow, annoy me so much, especially N. It feels like everything is an ass pull, doesn't have that battle of the minds concept as much. N was just made to be the perfect answer, the better of everybody, better than Light, better than L together combined, and it annoys me so much. Now, the ending, some people think that Kira should have won. That would have been funny. Also, I would have liked that ending. The ending is not a problem. The ending is how they got there. The second half feels a very big downgrade compared to the first half. It missing that hook that it had at the start, at least for me, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Even now when I'm thinking, I'm in the mood to rewatch Death Note, but then I remember the second half. I think I'm gonna pass on that. I'm really curious, how do you guys compare the first half of Death Note and the second half? Which one do you like more? And do you agree with me that the second half sucks and bring back L? Let's talk a big one, Jujutsu Kaisen. Honestly, I liked Season 1 more than I liked Season 2, at least Shibuya arc, because I really like Hidden Inventory, Gojo's Past, and Geto's Downfall. That's probably the best that Jujutsu Kaisen has been, at least in the anime so far, and I like Gojo, I like that, but after that in Shibuya arc, everybody was hyping it, saying it's the next big arc, which I have to give them credit. The action is there. Like, if you want pure action, it more than has a lot of the fights there. Yuji versus Choso is such an amazing choreography for a fight there in the bathroom. Sukuna versus Jogo there versus Mahoraga, and even more considering the quality that we have with the situation at MAPPA, how they've been treating their animators, the production, all of the issues. Fuck off, MAPPA. Do a better job. Cherish your people that put you literally on the map and working blood, sweat, and tears. But while the animation and action are great, I feel like the characters and the story took a backseat, especially one of my biggest problems, like I said in My Hero Academia. I don't like wasted characters, and I feel like here it goes into that extreme quite a lot. Like, there are series where nobody dies, there are no stakes, even though I feel like death is kind of exaggerated as a stake, but again, two extremes. nobody dies, and then you have the other extreme where everybody dies or they get sidetracked, so to say, like they get pushed off the main story. And this happens a lot in Shibuya with Mei Mei. Gojo, I understand why Gojo this needed to happen. Gojo is a very, very problematic character. You have somebody so overpowered that you can't have any stakes, any plot, any story when he can snap his fingers and solve any problems. While as much as I love Gojo, I fully agree with that. He's a very problematic character. I like him getting a seal, giving some breathing room to the other characters, but then everybody else gets tossed aside. Like Mei Mei fucks off to Narnia to groom her brother. Todo gets taken off field also with their fight against Mahito. I feel like he's used like a bit like a plot device, also just popping in, bringing Yuji back up. Yuji has his moments also. Fake Brain Ghetto, I'm not gonna say his name until we get to manga spoilers. Yuki, he doesn't really do anything again. She just comes in, just looks as Fake Brain Ghetto as he enacts his plan. Toji, while the action was great, Megumi also starts using his with this sacred treasure I summon, then gets bodied. Sukuna gets the most time to shine, and this is why it leans even more at what's happening into the manga, becoming a bit Sukuna Kaisen. While I don't mind characters' deaths, I mind them when it happens way too much, kind of just killing character for shock value, and probably the biggest one has to be in season 2, Nobara, which I feel she's one of the most wasted characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, is she alive, is she not alive, that's besides the point. How she was taken out, I'm like, why? Why? I wanted more time, more interactions with her. I feel like maybe if Shibuya was the arc after another arc, like spending more time with them. And I get, yes, it's a cruel world, this should happen, characters die left and right. When you have characters like this, it just loses that meaning, so to say. At least for me, when you kill so many of them or take them off the field, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah, nobody dies, there's no stakes. Everybody dies, it doesn't even matter if they die, it's just, whatever, another one. Also, I kind of feel like Mahito overstayed his welcome. He's not even one of the main villains. I liked him, the voice actor did such an amazing job. I like his character design. He was probably the one from the Disaster Curses that had the most potential to grow the most powerful. And I heavily underestimated Jogo. I gotta give him a lot of credit, especially after the fight with Sukuna. I feel like he was always fighting against powerhouses like Gojo and Sukuna. But Mahito, he more than overstayed his welcome. He needed to be taken out sooner, and I wish Yuji was the one that had the satisfaction of dealing that final blow and not Fake Brain Ghetto. There's a situation, or at least in my head canon, where Nobara doesn't go out by Mahito, she gets taken out by Fake Brain Ghetto, and at the same time he takes out Mahito in front of Yuji right as he was about to have that final blow, and that would have made it even more hype to go after Fake Brain Ghetto. But hey, that's just me wishful thinking. I'm not a writer, I'm not better, I can criticize and not like thing, but I'm not saying I can do a better job. That's far from it. But overall, I still like Jujutsu Kaisen. I still have a lot of fun with it. But then, here we go into some manga spoilers. I feel like Shibuya was the beginning of this trend, so to say. After that is just characters drop like flies, would be an understatement. New characters, old characters, and the big one, Night Win. I'm very fine with Gojo dying. That was kind of obvious was going to happen at some point. I just don't like how it happened. That strong claim. we all know, if you're in the Jujutsu Kaisen community, we know going back and forth, whatever. Even right now, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Nobara State also, Todo's also. The memes hard carry Jujutsu Kaisen, but I feel like I'm gonna have to change a bit my perspective with the series. It's like I'm watching a Fast and Furious movie, gonna turn off a lot of my brain and just enjoy the action and the fights. If I start going into deep, you see the cracks. But overall, Jujutsu Kaisen, one of the most hyped series. The action is there, the fights power systems, great character designs here, and I'm ready. Jujutsu Kaisen fans, come at me. I'm one of you guys. I love the series, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm also disappointed. I wanted more time with the characters, something more instead of just non-stop action. But that's maybe on me and my expectations. Let's talk about Naruto. I love Naruto. Really fun series, very popular series. It got a lot of people into anime. I was watching it week to week also. Emotional. I cried at this anime. Some of the fights, the characters, so many good things about Naruto, but also some bad things. Like, it has some plot holes, it has some things I don't like, especially in the last season. But even with those, no problem. I can get over all of those. What I can't get over, and the biggest disappointment this series has given me in anime in general, is the ending. It undermines everything that this series was, at least for me. Throughout the series, you have this build up of the main villain, and I'm going to go into spoilers here. You have been warned. Madara, one of the biggest Giga Chad villains, powerful characters in anime in general. The aura that he has, the fights, him versus Might Guy is probably my favorite fight in the anime. Him versus the 5 Kage. Everything that he did throughout the series, the behind the scene things, the front things, how many lives he has touched, changed everything for the bad, for how many things he manipulated. He has been built up all the way to Narnia, to say the least. Overpowered. But what I hate, you have this great character, villain, maybe way too powerful. We can get into that conversation with the next series that comes after this. All of the build up, the words, the motivations, just wasted. Suddenly, aliens with Kaguya. Fuck off. Why are you introducing suddenly right now aliens? And before you tell me White Zetsu was the foreshadowing, fuck off. No. Kaguya ruins everything about Naruto Shippuden and its main villain, Madara. It feels like a puppet. It's not fun, it's not subverting your expectation, it just ruins all of the build-up that has happened up to that point. And it just annoyed me way so much. I would have loved to have Sasuke and Naruto versus Madara being the ones to take him down finally, uniting against this great villain that has been throughout the shinobi world. But no, we needed to have aliens, because why not? This annoys me so much about the ending of Naruto. Then we also gave birth to Boruto after that, and Boruto sucks ass. Like, big time. Yes, I know the spoilers. Yes, I read even the manga. I tried the manga. I know everything. I know the 2 vortex. I know before Boruto fans come at me. I know. It sucks ass. The treatment of the old characters, how they're treated, to put them down just to make the newer ones stronger. No. We needed a sequel of Naruto if it happened later, and focus on other things, not those aliens that we got. But at this point, it's way too late for that, and this is probably one of my biggest disappointments in anime, with a much loved series, at least for me, being Naruto. Now, I also have to be very fair. I'm probably one of the biggest Fairy Tail fans. I love the series, one of my all-time favorite series. I love the characters, the world. I can rewatch it. I'm a fanboy when it comes to Fairy Tail, but that doesn't mean I ignore its issues. Especially the last season. I was disappointed in the last season. I didn't like the fight with Zeref. I wanted something more from that. The conclusion between him and his love, so to say, I kind of like that. The moment with his son, but the fight between him and Natsu, I wasn't a fan of that one, the conclusion between them. Then also, I didn't like how it was handled, Natsu's END form, Etherius Natsu Dragneel, that his demon form. I don't know, it felt underwhelming. Like, after all of the hype, everything that was said with his form, I wanted the bigger transformation, him doing something more in that form, even though he had that moment with the God of Time. but then his fight with Grey was stopped very easily by Erza, which is kind of on character. She always stopped them bickering, but I don't know. I wanted something else with that fight, but probably the biggest disappointment was for me the fight with Agnologia. That fight felt very, very underwhelming. Like, I can excuse the other ones, those sort of works, but this is probably the biggest flaw for me in the last season, the fight against Agnologia. I wanted Natsu going wild against Agnologia, but the way they split his mind, his body, everybody was fighting against him at the end there, wasn't satisfying for how much build-up there was in Agnologia. And I don't know, maybe Makarov should have died, would have been really sad. I love the guy so much, but I feel like it would have fit quite. This is how you do a death there, or how you not do a death, kind of like the other extreme. And I know Fairy Tail is about the power of friendship, but that's mainly the main theme of the series. You have I have an overhated anime series video if you guys want to check that out. I go a bit more on ranting there, but yeah, even my favorite series, I can be disappointed in them with some aspects. And this is gonna be probably a short one. The biggest problem with the series, Record of Ragnarok. Very simple series, very hype series, humans versus gods fighting for the survival of humans in a tournament, 1v1 style, and it's insane how good it is, the characters, the designs, the powers, the fights, the back and forth. But the biggest problem with a series like this is the animation. It's literally PowerPoint in some cases. It did improve a bit in season 2. I still have a lot of fun with the series, but this is such a wasted potential. Imagine if it had like half of the animation of Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, or even a generic isekai series, like half of that animation. That I'm not asking for best of the best animation. I would have loved so, but what we got is very underwhelming, and it's very much so the definition of wasted potential. I'm still going to watch it, and if you haven't watched or read Record of Ragnarok, I highly recommend if you want a hype action series. Those are pretty much the main series that jump out at me. I'm probably gonna think of more after this video, but it would have been 5 hours long, me just rambling here. Also, make sure you check out my Kingdom anime video. I didn't want to repeat myself here. Kingdom should definitely be one of the series you guys check out despite its issues. But I'm really curious from you guys, what series disappointed you? Why? Do you agree with some of the series I said here? What are some other ones? And I'm curious, what do you find more annoying, or something that disappoints you the most in a series? For me, it's wasted characters, honestly. This is why I was a bit more nitpicky with Jujutsu Kaisen, so to say. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying anime. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.